Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Kerrville Weekly News Roundup, hosted by the Texas Hill Country Podcast Network. We are the co-founders of the network and the host today. Andrew Gay and Tom Fox here in the studio. We're going to run over our top news picks for the week. And boy, it's a scorcher today. So there's no way we're going to go this whole time without mentioning the weather. So just wanted to throw that out there. Not even 10 seconds in, and we're already talking about it. All right, Tom, why don't you do the honors and kick us off here? What you got for the top news picks for the week?
Sure, I have a couple of stories, Andrew. The first is the city council, at least, I don't know if it was a proposal or just a floated trial balloon, but suggested they were going to move citizens' comment period till just before the end of the weekly meeting. And there were a lot of people at the meeting who objected to it. And I think rightly so, because they said, look, if you move us to the end, we're going to get squeezed out. And it'll be something like, well, you know, we're near the end. We've been here a long time. Let's just wrap this up. And
yeah, everybody's kind of checked out at that point, right?
Yeah. So I have some sympathy for that position. And it's not, like I said, it's not clear if that was an actual proposal or just a trial balloon, but at least the folks at the city council meeting this week were not particularly enthused with it. The second thing was Wednesday, June 14th, was Flag Day. And the United States selected its flag, I found out this week, in 1777. So it's that was when the design of the American flag was selected. So Flag Day has been around a long time. And if you don't know, there's only two ways to dispose of an American flag. Mm-hmm. One is to burn it, and two is to bury it. So please don't throw your flag in the trash. That's not an appropriate burial or remembrance for the symbol of our country. It's certainly understandable if a flag gets torn or tattered, or you want a new one that's maybe more vibrant colors, but please dispose correctly of old flags. But Flag Day is something that obviously comes once a year. I was at a Rotary meeting and we sang "It's a Grand Old Flag," which I have not sung. I couldn't remember the last time I sang that song. So it's good to think about what that flag is, what it means. We say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag in Rotary, but we don't often talk about the flag itself. And I just think it's good for Americans to think about the stars and stripes. And, you know, ever since, you know, Francis Scott Key and all of that jazz, it's a great day and it's a great remembrance. And if you have to dispose of a flag, please do so in the manner so prescribed.
Good stuff, Tom. I got a couple of things to add to that, actually, because I had a little Flag Day rundown earlier in the week. So if you don't mind, I'm going to add a couple of things to that. These are just like neat, like facts. Okay, so
flag factoids.
Flag factoids. So the current design of the U.S. flag is the 27th iteration of the flag, and it's the longest used design since the U.S. hasn't added a new state since 1959. Do you know the last state that was added?
Hawaii.
Yes. Alaska was the one right before that. Most people, the other popular guess I got there was Alaska, but yeah. Tom, right on the nose. Hey, that's great. And despite what we may have learned in middle school, there's no actual evidence that Betsy Ross had any role in making the actual American flag.
I've been to her house and they said that. So, you know.
You saw her make it?
I know, but I've been to her house and they said she did it. So whatever you found on the internet is not correct.
Yeah. Well, so apparently the story goes that her daughter, I believe, after Betsy had passed, was telling the account of Betsy's story, but there wasn't actually any like evidence to back it up. So
there was no Betsy.
That's right. She was gone. But you know, who knows? But just factoids, right? And this, last but not least, I thought this was interesting. So last year, there were 4 senators that introduced the All-American Flag Act to require the federal government to exclusively buy American flags made in the USA. As of 2017, the U.S. imported 10 million American flags from abroad. 99.5% were from, can you guess what country?
China.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Correct.
On the nosy.
That's right. So, yeah, interesting factoids, but thank you for that. And speaking of China, it's funny you mentioned trial balloon. As long as it's not one of those Chinese,
That's a weather
trial
balloon. That's a different kind of balloon.
It's not a trial balloon. Not a Kerrville City Council's trial balloon. Okay, got it. Okay, back over here to our picks. Okay, so for myself, I think the first thing I was going to mention was that there was a discussion in the county. County commissioners had a meeting this past Monday, and one of the lengthy discussions they had there was about the county treasurer's office. They're having some discussion about where to move that office, and this is one of the many issues that the county will now need to resolve after the failure of Prop A from the November bond election that did not pass. And so that was one. Number two was we actually officially said goodbye to our city manager, E.A. Hoppy, this week. So we wish him farewell. Our friend Lewis this morning said that he asked him yesterday what he thought about moving out to San Francisco. And he said, it's not San Francisco, it's Frisco. He said, yeah, well, to us, it's all the same. He's leaving. So anyway, we're sad to see him go, but newer era for us here in the city of Kerrville. And I think that's it. As far as top news picks this week, it was kind of a quiet week here on our front in Kerrville, other than the weather being scorching hot. I did want to mention, too, before I forget, that it's Father's Day this weekend. So happy Father's Day to you, all the other fathers out there. That's coming up this weekend, along with a holiday Monday. The stock market's closed. It's a federal holiday. A lot of stuff is closed this weekend. So what about you? You got anything like going on for this long weekend?
So what holiday do we have Monday?
It's Juneteenth.
All right. It's our newest federal holiday.
That you're right. It sure is.
So yeah, no, I'm going to enjoy the heat. Got a kayak this past weekend at an estate sale. So I might take that out. Yeah. Going to be a river rat and otherwise just the regular stuff.
Man, you know what? That's awesome. Dude, where are you going to go? Where are you putting in at? Do you know? The river?
Over by Chili's.
Okay. Yeah. Literally down by the river rat boat.
Right.
I see what you did there. I want to show you all this. I'm so proud of this. Hold on. So this was me last weekend. Let me see if I can get this to work. This was, I got my fishing education. Come on, man. There we go. So this was one of the fish that we caught last weekend. This is in the North Fork of the Guadalupe. This was a Rio Grande cichlid. So my cousin could tell you a lot more about it than I could, but it was a really neat catch for me because apparently the fly fishing community in general is like buzzing about this specific species of fish, and it's native to Texas. And so anyway, but in the grand scheme of things, this is actually a very large one. So I was like really proud of that. My cousin's like, "Oh, you don't even understand how cool that is." And so it was like I don't know, maybe the fourth or fifth fish that I've landed on a fly rod. So
very cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so I know it's going to be hot, but that's great that you're planning on getting out. I think we're planning on getting out too. My wife actually is having a yard sale with her side of the family right now, and luckily they're like under a covered pavilion type thing in their front yard, and it's big enough to shade them. But man, it's still hot. So, okay, guys, I think that'll do it for us today. You got anything else to add before we sign off here, Tom?
Be safe out there.
Be safe out there. That's it. Yeah, and make sure you hydrate. We had some discussion this morning about that is super important, and it can easily get away from you if you're not careful. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you back here next week. Have a safe and fun long weekend for most. We'll catch you back here next week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.